with the newspaper analysis of December 29. We are nearing the fag end of a year which nobody can forget, of course all for wrong reasons, but we all expect an excellent new year. So it is a time for all of us to make resolutions for the upcoming year. The resolution must be that we should change the way we live our lives, we should read more, we should give a different dimension to our lives by reading more, and our resolution should include a tenacious performance to succeed in competitive exams and to get good placements. So wishing you all a very good afternoon. We shall straight away start with the newspaper analysis. Please encourage us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Please give likes to our Facebook channel. I am very much encouraged to see that even people who do not know us, do not know me, watch programs, call me and encourage me. So I expect you all to post your positive comments on our YouTube channel against the program. That will definitely be a great encouragement to all of us. So let us begin. Farmers get invite for talks. Today we are discussing December 29 newspaper. On December 30 today, the farmers will be meeting the government for finding a solution to end the impasse. They have been striking for the past 1 month plus to get the 3 controversial farm laws repealed. Government says that all the laws are enacted for the benefit of farmers, but farmers are not convinced. Their conviction is very important, consultation was more important, but neither conviction nor consultation was to be obtained in time. That is why the farmers have to strike. So let us see what is going to happen. We must be very optimistic. We must be optimistic to hear a news today that the impasse is overcome, and at the end of the day, whatever the outcome be, it will benefit the farmers as well as the nation. 4 states begin dry run for rollout of vaccine. The nation is very curiously looking forward to the implementation of vaccination. This is going to be the biggest vaccination program in the world in a short span of time. When Spanish flu occurred in 2018-19, it took almost 15 years for the scientists to come out with a vaccine, but this particular vaccine was invented in less than a year's time. So there are doubts regarding its efficacy, whether it will create other negative ramifications, but anyway we all are optimistic, and the economy is optimistic that the vaccine will definitely be a real solution to the COVID. So let us see what is going to happen. We are making the preparation. The mock drills have been taken place. Now the dry run is taking place. So we have got an excellent experience of vaccination. India has been successfully taking vaccination programs, 4 vaccination programs, and it's an excellent success. We have eradicated many diseases like polio. So we have got huge experience in vaccination programs. Of course our vaccination experience is something that other countries can only envy, but this vaccination is something that is to be completed in 1 to 3 years time. Almost a good sizable population has to be vaccinated in a short span of time, and also the concern is that there is an apprehension whether these vaccines are effective or how much effective will they be. Anyway, we are going ahead, so we have to be very optimistic. Again, the article is about the COVID pandemic. In India, it is said that the pandemic is under control for more than many months. After more than many months, the number of new infections has come down to less than 20,000. So, as 2020 draws to a close, Indians will look forward to a new year with weariness and hope after suffering one of the worst years in history health wise. Nearly 1,48,000 registered deaths due to COVID-19 and huge economic loss and loss of livelihoods. The pandemic continues to rage. Daily infections and death are scaling fresh peaks in Europe. The US is closing in on 20 million confirmed cases and 3 lakh deaths, and in some countries in Latin America cases have remained high and rising. Okay. In contrast, in India the cases are coming down. It is alleged that in India there is a steady decline in testing. So, that is considered the reason for the lower number of fresh cases in India these days. But anyway, you cannot close down the economy again, because lives and livelihood both have to go hand in hand. So, we have to, and of course the governments, the nations, they did not have any kind of experience in dealing with the pandemic situation. So, sometimes critics may be correct, but of course the governments have got responsibilities. Critics said that the entire management of COVID was wrong, but governments of course had to do things. So, we cannot blame the government, we cannot call it mismanagement, but at the end of the day the economy is struggling to come back to normalcy. Read the article and have good ideas. The first question: the peace talks between Afghanistan government and the Taliban has been going on in. Is it in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, Doha, Qatar, Cairo, Egypt, Istanbul, Turkey, or Dubai, UAE? What is your answer? Let me get responses. Yes, the answer is correct. It is Doha, Qatar, where the Afghanistan government and the Taliban forces are negotiating, and hopefully a good result will come. Afghanistan has been under Soviet rule for many years. It is a border country of India. During the Cold War time, Afghanistan was under the firm grip of USSR, the then USSR, but when Soviet Union collapsed, Afghanistan was left to anarchy, and the then ruling government was toppled by Taliban forces that emerged as a student union from Pakistan. Their leaders Badruddin Rabbani and Khushbuddin Hekmatyar, those people led the Taliban forces, and they encroached into the lands of Afghanistan, and the government was toppled. Ever since then there has not been any complete peace in Afghanistan. Afghanistan complains that it is Pakistani led terrorist groups are making troubles in Afghanistan. When after the September 11 attack that resulted in the collapse of the Twin Towers in Manhattan, the World Trade Center towers, immediately America started a manhunt for the Al-Qaeda leader. I'm sorry, Al-Qaeda leader was hunted down. He was considered to be hiding in the Tora Bora region of Afghanistan. Ever since then American forces were in Afghanistan. Now, America somehow or other wants to get rid of the problems in Afghanistan, and America wants to get away from Afghanistan. So, a peace is required in Afghanistan. That is why America has encouraged Afghanistan to make discussions with Taliban forces. They are negotiating for a sustainable peace in Afghanistan, and the negotiations are being taken place in Doha, Qatar. The talks were started in August 2020 and will continue next week. Yes, this is what I have said. The discussion about discussions that are going to be taken place, the second round that is going to be taken place in Doha, Qatar. So, please read. I have briefly told you about how Afghanistan became a troubled place. Reforms with the future and farming needs in mind. Of course, this is a government view. A member of the Niti Aayog writes about the farmer strike. So, he says about the expectations of the new laws. He says that the laws are not detrimental to interest of farmers, and he tries to establish that farmers' suspicions are based on misinterpretation of laws. Please read. Anyway, when you try to understand an issue, you got to know both the sides. It is not just the farmer's view that is important, but the view of the government is also important. Okay, please read. The second question, the Prime Minister has flagged off the 100th Kisan Rail services, Sangola in dash to Shalimar in dash. Sangola and Shalimar are situated in which states? Sangola in West Bengal or Shalimar in Maharashtra, Sangola in Gujarat or Shalimar in West Bengal. Anyway, please go through the choices. What is your answer? Where is Sangola, where is Shalimar? That is a question. Okay, I have started getting answers. Answers split between 2 and 1. Okay, we shall check whether it is correct. Okay, most of you have given answer 2 and 1. Aravind has given answer 5, Minu has given answer 5, Deepa answer 5, Manju answer 5, and the answer is 5th choice. Sangola is in Maharashtra and Shalimar is in West Bengal. Very important question, a possible question for your upcoming exam. Sangola is in Maharashtra and Shalimar is in West Bengal. Prime Minister has flagged off 100th Kisan Rail services from Sangola in Maharashtra, and it runs between Sangola in Maharashtra and Shalimar in West Bengal. Yes, Center is trying to expand markets for farmers. 100th Kisan Rail service from Sangola in Solapur district of Maharashtra and Shalimar in West Bengal. Prime Minister inaugurated through video conferencing. The essence of the write-up is that government is trying to expand the possibility of farmers selling their produce. The entire nation is now available for farmers. It is not just the nearby APMC where the farmers can sell their products, but they can sell it across the country. So, what government expects or what government explains is that farmers will get better price as their markets become bigger and bigger. But farmers have got every reason to suspect that we cannot say that everything is wrong in farming in India. Of course, there are certain basic issues in farming which are to be corrected, but do not think that everything in farming is corrected, is wrong in India. Why? Because India has been a very successful farming country. India's granaries are filled with 300 million tons of food grains. So, how can we say that everything is wrong in farming in India? there may be corrections required here and there, but it is what is a complete reform may not be needed. Anyway, farmers have got trust in the APMCs. Farmers believe that the minimum procurement price has helped them heavily in the past, and farmers suspect that the repeal of acts and laws that will stop hoarding that may affect them adversely. So, farmers have to be consulted and they have to be given true promises by the government, then only the impasse can be overcome. Expert panel asks Central PWD to submit demolition plans. We have discussed this particular topic in detail. The Government of India's Central Vista project that will cost more than 10,000 crore, and government's new parliament building that will cost around 1000 crore or 970 crore. We have discussed all those things in detail. So, in connection with the construction, plenty of buildings that have gone through history, they have to be demolished. They have got stories to speak about. They are to be demolished, and it is said that 7.2 tons of solid waste will be created per day, and this 542 kiloliters of water is needed for the project. 542 kiloliters of water is needed for the project, and 7.2 tons of solid waste have to be removed per day. So, that will create ecological issues, health issues to public. Anyway, please read. We have to wait and see how the project evolves. Prime Minister's plan is to inaugurate it by 2022, I believe, before the winter session of Parliament. Anyway, these are all I am taxing on my memory. We discussed it in the previous days. All these dates, everything is important. We discussed in detail. That will be available in the question papers in the previous questions of previous days also. Chinese citizen journalist jailed over Wuhan reports. Shang Zhan was the Chinese journalist who first said that coronavirus was spreading in Wuhan. She is a former lawyer. Like several other Chinese citizen journalists, travelled to Wuhan late January and early February 2020, motivated to tell the story of what was unfolding in the city, which had been locked down on January 23. She was accused of provoking trouble by the Chinese authorities. Shang's live video report showed a city in full lockdown and a situation in hospitals, and she was often critical of the government's belated response during the early stages of the outbreak. So, China has done in the way generally Chinese governments do. She is arrested, she is in jail. So, there is no democracy in China, people's freedom are limited. So, we cannot expect any better than this from China. Question number 3, as per the papers titled Measuring Trend Inflation in India released by RBI, maintaining inflation target of -% is appropriate for India. What is your answer? Time is up. Okay, very good. I got the answers from my students. The second option, 4% is correct. As per Measuring Trend Inflation India report released by Reserve Bank of India, maintaining inflation target of 4% is appropriate for the country. The target of 4% for inflation with an upper tolerance limit of 6% and the lower tolerance limit of 2% was set by the central government in consultation with RBI. This was done in 2016 and its validity expires on March 31, 2021. So, the upper band is 6%, the lower band is 2%, and the target is 4%. It need not go below 2 and should not go above 6. That was the target fixed by the central government in consultation with RBI. This was done in 2016, and this particular reference has got validity till March 31, 2021. So, the RBI's task, the task that is given to RBI is that inflation tolerance limit is 4%, that is the ideal level that India can keep, but it should never go beyond 6, it should not go below 2. I think it is clear to you. Maintaining inflation target of 4% is appropriate RBI paper. Please read, I have already explained the news to you. Bank profitability may rise in financial year 2022 on better asset quality. Improved asset quality and consequently lower credit provisions should drive better profitability next fiscal, ICRA ratings said in a report. Of course, these are all promising reports to reports regarding the economy, but generally what we have to think is, generally when economy is going through a bad phase, banks cannot have a standalone profitability or good times. Banks' good times are always associated with the performance of the economy. Economy is going through its perils, so how can banks improve their asset quality, how can banks become more profitable is something that casts doubts in minds of people. Anyway, please read, these are all reports based on figures, but what I said was a general opinion or general assessment of things. Anyway, they have gone with very clear cut figures. Read and understand. Arya Rajendran has recently been elected the youngest mayor of any city corporation in India. She is the mayor of which city corporation in India? Let the answers come. Okay, I have started getting the answers. Arya Rajendran is the new chairperson of city mayor, or mayor of which city? Yes, correct. She is the mayor of Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala, the capital of Kerala, Thiruvananthapuram, and Arya Rajendran is the mayor of the city. A proud moment for young people. At the age of 21, she is undergoing graduate student in the University of Kerala, and she has been given the responsibility to lead the Trivandrum city by the ruling CPIM. So, a very important encouraging news for youngsters in this country. At the age of 21, Arya Rajendran of Trivandrum has become the mayor of the city, and the country requires young breed of rulers with new political ideology and new young fresh thoughts. 21-year-old Arya Rajendran became the next mayor of Thiruvananthapuram after tasting victory in the recent city polls in Kerala. She is a second-year graduate student of the city college, youngest ever mayor in the country. Very important, it can even become a question for your examination. Question number 5, the Indian Railways plans for total electrification of its broad gauge by the year. When will the Indian Railways complete its electrification program? Your time has just run out. Your time has just run out. Give me the answer. When will the Indian Railways complete its electrification program? What is your answer? Oh yes, answers are pouring in. Most of you, all of you say it is 3, and the answer is correct. It is in 2023 that Indian Railway will complete its electrification of broad gauge. All broad gauge will be electrified by 100% electrification by 2023. Presently, Indian Railway has completed 66% of electrification of all its broad gauge lines. So, out of the 100 broad gauge lines, 66 are completed. 66% of the total broad gauge lines are electrified so far, and once completed, it will help the Indian Railway save 14,500 rupees on fuel bill. So, once the 100% electrification is done, the Indian Railway will save per annum 14,500 crore on fuel bill, and with fuel bills, fuel prices going up like anything, the savings for the future will be more and more and more. Railways can plan to create a lot of solar based electricity, because railway has got huge lands. Railway could be the biggest land holder in the country, single land holder in the country. So, all the lands can be used for generating electricity, which can be used, which can be savings for the railways as well as the nations. Indian Railway has fixed a target of being net zero emitter of carbon by Indian Railway has fixed the target of being net zero emitter of carbon by which year? 2023, 2025, 2027, 2030 or 2033. What is your answer? I need the answer quickly, do not take time. Okay, Aravind, you have come with the answer. Fourth choice, 2030. Let a few more responses come and check, we can check whether it is correct. Yes, the answer is correct. 2030 is the terminal year that railway keeps in mind to become a net emitter of zero net emitter of carbon. 20 gigawatt of electricity will be produced using railway lands. As I just told you, Indian Railway plans to create solar electricity by using its land. Railway could be the biggest single land holder of the country. So, their wastelands can be used to generate electricity, and its plan is to create 20 gigawatt of solar electricity using its lands. Railway has planned 100% electrification of its broad gauge routes by 2023. 63% have already been electrified, or 63,631 kilometers. 23,765 kilometer routes are yet to be electrified. Okay, so these are all important data, please take down. Question number 7. Which government has introduced a bill in its assembly to convert the state-run madrasas into general education institutes from next year? State-run madrasas will be converted into general education institutes from next year. Which state has decided? Is it Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal or Assam? Which state government has decided? Okay, the most of you vote for Assam, and that is correct. Assam has decided to convert state-run madrasas into general education institutes from 2021. This is the news I have just explained, please read. Question number 8. The grave of Naushera Sher, Brigadier Mohammad Usman, the senior most officer killed in the India-Pakistan War of 1948, is situated at? This was in the news. For the Indian Army has decided to renovate the site after the news of it getting damaged came out. The Indian Army has decided to renovate the site after the news of it being damaged came out, and the answer choices are split between third choice and the second choice, Aligarh Muslim University and Jamia Millia Islamia. The correct answer is Jamia Millia Islamia, the third option. Yes, army to restore grave of Naushera Sher. After it came to light that the grave of Naushera Sher, Brigadier Mohammad Usman, the senior most officer killed in the first India-Pakistan battle of 1947-48, was damaged, an army source said it was looking into the issue and the grave will be restored soon. The grave is located on the Jamia Millia Islamia campus. The university has taken a stand that it is not the responsibility of the university, and it is this is inside the university campus. Okay, so please read, it has come into limelight, so very important. Thank you very much for watching the program. I am sure that you are enjoying the program. Make sure that you have to make a detailed analysis of the newspaper on a daily basis. Spend quality 2 hours in reading the newspaper. For those people who have not get the physical copy of the Hindu, make sure that you are getting it from New Year, at least from January 1 you should have. So speak to your newspaper vendor and ensure that you get your personal copy and read a quality 2 hours. Your English will improve, your general connect with the world will improve, and you will become a very stronger personality, and that is what we all are looking at.